Start recording. Here we go. We're recording. I did this once and this is trash. Anyway, so this is a Wednesday afternoon uh coffee rant with Dan. I'm kind of hitting every day of the week is what I'm doing. Um in between my actual Tag Chat, podcast. And today I have a very special message to my former uh or ex order following colleagues and that's in the police services and in the Marine Corps or in any branch of the service. Um, when I was in the Marine Corps, I joined the Marine Corps at 19 years old during the first Gulf War. And I don't want to like lead anyone on. I wasn't deployed over there, but I was trained in infantry security forces, stationed at the U.S. Naval Academy. So I had some good training. And I remember, back during those times, that was right during the first Gulf War, and all the veterans, we were all heroes. They were all returning from war. So, mainstream news media were heroes. You get through all this hard training, and you have the sense of accomplishment. You're 19 years old, so you got ego. And this is between the ages of like 19 and 21 for me. And you feel this sense of, I don't want to call it entitlement, but you feel special. Like you really did something, right? You feel like, you've got this, you think you've got this position of status within society. You're just another human being, really, is what you are. Your ego identifying with what it is you do. And instead of just looking at, hey, I'm another human being. Well, I did take an oath to protect and to serve. And at 19 years old, I think that this time I might have been 20 or 21 years old. I had a couple years in, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't know how I had to think back on it, right? I'm 50 now, or 51. I don't even know how old I am. I don't know how I had this wisdom at like 20 or 21 years old, but I remember thinking to myself, man, all this stuff, like I just said, you have the status you think you got. But I remember saying to myself, we're not better than those we took an oath to protect or serve at all. We came from the people we want to protect and serve. That's what the oath is about. We're not better than them. And that is something that kind of followed me throughout my police career. I wasn't heavy handed. I considered myself a peacekeeper, okay, not a law enforcer. And anyone who worked with me at many of my departments, I worked in several different departments, including the federal government, would attest to that. People at the federal government level might have a little bit different of a story, but there's a reason for that. At any rate, I was light-handed. I wasn't badge heavy. I didn't write tickets for marijuana or for speeding or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, I used to smoke pot when I was a teenager. I don't now, but I used to. I had a lot of friends who did at the time. Okay, so I just somehow innately knew you don't enforce laws that are victimless crimes. Okay, so what I want to say to order followers, and I've said it on podcasts before, you're going to be given immoral orders, and you're going to be at great conflict within yourself when you do it, and you're going to probably not agree with the orders, and when you go to make that arrest, or you go to take that gun away, or you go to do that thing that's repugnant to the Constitution, which makes it automatically null and void, and you shouldn't be following that order, you're going to really despise it, and you're going to be at internal conflict, but you may still go and follow that order anyway, and try and talk the person until hey man, I feel for you. I don't agree with this bullshit either, dude. I just got to do this. It's just doing my job. Um, you know, I'm with you, man. I'm on your side, but I have to, I got to take you in, or I got to take your gun, or whatever it's gonna be, right? And you're gonna probably say something along the lines, listen, man, I'm gonna write down how cooperative you are and how I disagree with this, that I'm just, following orders, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna write it in a way where it helps you out. Listen, dude, that doesn't do anything. Because what happens with that person who understands their rights says, no, you're not taking this, or no, I'm not going in with you. You have no right to kidnap me. Because of the arbitrary dictates of some immoral politician. And as far as I can tell, all the politicians in the later 20th century, leading up to right now today, in the 21st century, are all narcissistic, sociopathic psychos. Okay. Right now in the world working together. I am a conspiracy analyst, not a conspiracy theorist. I've analyzed this as an actual conspiracy going on in the world. It's not a theory, folks. So, as a cop, you're going to be presented with these things, and This was sort of the same thing that happened during, 1930s Germany. In 1934, they had an operation called Operation Hummingbird, okay, known as Night of the Long Knives or Brown Shirts, where the SA, which was a democratic uh, paramilitary organization during the experiment in Germany for democracy, for freedom, who were sort of like the police here in modern day America. Most were, let's just say Republican, for lack of a better term. And when Hitler became the chancellor of the National Socialist Party, and again, I'm using hot button words, but to me, even libertarians suck. I mean, I'll take that over what we got now, but libertarians are like marble ultralights. The rest are other variants of higher and higher nicotine and tar, which are bad for you, right up until socialism and communism, which is like marble extra tar. Being a Democrat's like being a Republican would be like marble lights. Being a Democrat would be like marbles, and then socialist and communist marble extra tars. They're all bad for you, man. But yeah, this long night, night of long nights where 85 influential people within the ranks of the SA were murdered, state-sponsored executions, and they claim that anywhere for up to 1,000 people that were part of the SA uh, were executed, and then they were replaced by the SS, the Nazi Party. Um, it's kind of repeating itself. It's happening again, but to my order followers, it's happening slower. See, they can't. They like to euphemize their violence now, so they're not going to just go ahead and do that. I was just looking at an article today where, like, I think I forgot what percentage it was, but it was a very high percentage of the Philadelphia police have resigned. Okay, they're going to get replaced with real robotic automatons that will follow any order given to them. So remember, the part of the oath we took to protect and serve, that's the part that we have to pay attention to. We took that oath to protect and serve. So any mandate or law that's repugnant to the Constitution, which I've said before and I'll say again, I'll really wipe my ass with that. I don't need any man scribbling down on some parchment what my rights are and saying, here you go. These are your rights because I am man, just scribbled them down and gave them to you. These are your rights. That's what the Constitution is. The rights under God, under law, are, well, let me explain rights real quick, just for anyone who's, hearing this for the first time. What is a right? I've heard people say, well, rights are those things which you're allowed to do or which are legal, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, rights are not an adjective. Your rights are not an adjective. Your rights don't describe anything. Your rights are a verb. Your rights are an action. Any action you take which does not initiate harm against another sentient being, which includes any kind of drug you want to ingest, any type of substance you want to put in your body. It's your body. I don't recommend doing meth or coke or all these other drugs, but if you want to, it's bad for you and you only. I say don't do it, but you're not doing anything immoral. Okay, morals are objective, and it took me finding the occulted knowledge of natural law when I was basically trying to look for spiritual science and understanding I wasn't some immoral piece of shit because I had some unhealthy coping mechanisms pending or because of the jobs I had done as an order follower, which will have you at constant conflict. Okay? I know a lot of the cops I served with. I was friends with y'all because the ones I was friends with, we were of the same mindset. We took the oath to protect and serve and considered ourselves peacekeepers, not order followers, not uh, law enforcement officers. We considered ourselves peacekeepers. We took an oath to protect and serve. So any order that you are given or any mandate given that's repugnant to the Constitution of the United States, forgetting what I said about wiping my ass with it, is null and void, and you should disobey that order, man. So I was getting back to with the land of the long knives, kind of rambling on. They're going to do it to y'all slower. They're creating a lot of hate towards police, um, and which isn't very hard to do, to be honest with you, because when you got to slow down and you get a ticket for going 11 miles over the speed limit just to make money for the city. Let's be honest, that pisses people off. We're not making any friends when we do that shit, which is why I didn't do a whole bunch of it, which didn't help me on my departments, to say the least. But that said, they're going extra above and beyond to not only weaken the U.S. military, but to drive more and more hate towards good officers who end up resigning and quitting, which is actually not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. But y'all are going to be replaced in such a way where the people that are going to be coming in are going to do exactly what they're told to do. My message to you guys is just remember the oath that you thought you were taking to protect and serve. Think for yourself. Understand objective morality under natural law. Figure out what's really moral and what's really not. If God with a capital G has a law under creation with a capital L, more than likely, in every state in this union, that will be something immoral to do, such as murder. We know that's bad, right? Even in other countries, they know it's bad. That's why they try to euphemize it and don't call it that. Well, we had to because they were a threat to blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. Um, if in one state something is illegal, like marijuana smoking or carrying a gun to defend yourself, but then in another state, smoking pot and or carrying a firearm for self-defense is completely legal. We're talking different levels of legality under man's law with a lowercase L. That's something that's completely moral to do under the Creator. You're allowed to protect yourself and you're allowed to put in your body whatever you want. So if it's a law that differs from state to state, it's moral to do. If it's a law that's the same in every single state, such as murder, it's immoral to do. Now, there's going to be laws that are going to come up, and it's going to be the same in every state or even over the world. Still going to be immoral. You have to understand what your rights are. Your rights are any action you take that does not initiate harm to another sentient being. You got to understand that it's wrong to coerce, lie, murder, steal, trespass, okay? Assault. All that stuff is bad. Those are the only things bad. Those are the only laws with capital L under God with a capital G that's bad. Anything else is arbitrary bullshit made by human beings, greedy human beings, okay? Um, Yeah, so with that said, I just wanted to have this really was kind of a rant. I worked out today, and again, if you're not exercising, start training. Be ready, okay? And I just figured I'd throw that out there. It's a special message because I know I joined the military and got into into law enforcement. I thought for the right reasons to serve something greater than myself, and then I realized my horror that I was serving something greater than myself, but it wasn't good. It's upholding an immoral um, system of control, where in creation, no human being has a right to coerce or control another human being unless that human being is actually initiating harm. And that is harm is not something like there's graduations of there's levels to it. Wearing a mask or refusing to wear a mask is not purposely harming anybody. I've said this in past podcasts. Don't let them euphemize what their excuses to use violence. The mask itself is cult indoctrination. Anybody who's been in the military will tell you how you get indoctrinated into that cult. They make you all look the same. They shave your head. They make you all look the same. They make you all wear the same uniform. They make you sound off the same. They give you the same preparatory commands, the same commands of execution. You look like you sound like you quack like. They give you sleep deprivation. They feed you a bunch of sugar and a bunch of bullshit, and they have you tired all the time from all the exercise and training. Um, One of the main reasons why older guys probably wouldn't make it through a boot camp is because the diet they give you would screw you up, much less the exercise. Anyway, that's what cult indoctrination is, and repetition has its purposes. But wearing a mask, this is literally Cobra, man. Like when I joined the Marines, I thought I was going to be GI Joe. Little did I know later on I was going to really be fighting Cobra. What the fuck did Hasbro know back in the '80s, man? But anyway, I've kind of rambled on too long already. I got stuff to do. It's a beautiful day here. I'm going to get out in nature and enjoy it. Um, until next time I do a rant, man, stay safe.